From a young age, you will have become familiar with number patterns and sequences like times tables. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8 is the start of the 2 times table. In this chapter, we will look at how we move from one term to another using term-to-term rules. Very simply, we look for the difference. Let's try an example.
The first three numbers in a pattern are 4, 8 and 12. Let's look at the difference between the first term, 4, and the second term, 8. We need to add 4 to move from term 1 to term 2. To move from the second term, 8, to the third term, 12, we also add 4. We should add 4 again to find the next number in the sequence. So 12 plus 4 gives us 16 as the next term. You should recognise this sequence as the 4 times table.
Sometimes you may have to find the next 2 or 3 terms. Let's look at a new sequence. Following the same rule as our previous example, let's find the difference moving from term to term. Be careful when working with negative numbers. You could think about temperature when you see them, to remind you to add to a negative number to get closer to 0. In this sequence, we add 5 each time. So to find the next 2 terms, let's continue with that pattern. Term 5 is simply the previous term, term 4 plus 5. As term 4 was the number 8, adding 5 gives us 13. So if term 5 is 13, we must add another 5 onto 13 to get term 6. This gives us 18 for term 6.
But what if you were given patterns instead? Think about how many blocks are needed to build a staircase. Let's look at the pattern from the side view. Term 1 has 1 block. Term 2 has 3 blocks. You added 2 new blocks to the bottom of the pattern. Term 3 has 6 blocks altogether, so you added 3 new blocks. Pattern 4 is drawn, so you just have to count the blocks. There are 10. How do we figure out term 5? Let's look at what has happened. From term 1 to term 2, we added 2. Then from term 2 to term 3, we added 3. Then we added 4. So now we must add 5. Term 5 will be 15.
In your exam, you may be asked to draw the pattern as well as write the new term. So we must practice both and remember to make your diagrams clear. That's about all there is for term-to-term sequences.